Hi, I'm Lee, and today we're building a little 5-star farm in this country road that moseys on up the hill, overlooking Reddington, a nice southern town on the fringes of Appalachia. Let's flip over to the bird's eye view here. Hey, doesn't it sort of look like a guy? You know, here's his nose, maybe he's got a hat or, long hair or something like that, arm, a couple of legs, and it looks like he's stepping back to pass. He's playing football. American football. The kind they'd play in Reddington. Anyway, we are going to build ourselves some industry here today. The biggest problem that we have in Reddington currently is unemployment is kind of high, 14%. I'd like to grow the city bigger. I actually promised that we'd build a park. I'm going to have to put that off till the next time. But this is going to be an opportunity for us to expand and build some farming industry. As you can see, we've got all this beautiful alluvial land up here, and if I turn on my lines, it looks like it's kind of hilly over there. That's okay. We only need to farm it, get some fields in there, and then ship it out into town. So first off, let's buy that bit of land. Actually buy another one besides. We don't really need this, but we need the jobs, and I really don't want to build more industry and have all this extra pollution. As you can see, we've got some scorched earth going on over here. We're going to have some of that as it is with coal power plants that we're using for the time being, as well as the inland water treatment plant. Let's take a look at our utilities here and make sure we're good. Looks like we are pretty good here. Yeah, okay, I like it. So let's extend our roads. Still stick with a gravel road here. And I'm going to go turn on my guidelines, my terrain lines here using toggle it. And I'm going to pull out about 30 units, I think, right here. Why do I use that length? I don't know. It just sounds like a good number. I usually like to go in multiples of 10s or 12. Really just depends. When I'm following the terrain, though, it's a little different story. Okay, so right here, I really need to create an area here for my industry. So I'm going to create an industry area. And I'm going to get the biggest one there is here. And I want to make sure that I get access to this farmland. Now, it's important to start off, let's just call it Cypress Farms. That sounds like a good name. Cypress Farms will be the name of our industrial area. We're going to do farming to start off with. And that's what all this yellow here is. If I pull up the resources, you can see fertile land. And we've got a lot of it in through here. So that will supply our extractors in agriculture. Now, why don't we just start off nice and simple, like industry farming with a big tractor. All right, so now production chains. It's got this nice diagram. Production chains are kind of complex, but we get the basic idea that we need to have extractor buildings like, actually, let me start off with this buddy right here, this guy. That is our main building, farm main building. That allows us to build a grain silo, which will store crops, and to build animal pastures, crop fields, and fruit fields, which are extractors. So, and one is a storage building. All right, so we're going to start off with a small crop field. And we need to build it over top of where we know there is fertile land. We'll build a fruit. And might as well go with the animal pasture too. Now, in real life, this isn't exactly how the farming business works. It's a little bit less complicated than that, especially in the US. It seems like pretty much anywhere that's not too rocky east of the Mississippi is pretty decent farmland, and so that works out pretty well. All right, so now I should have water Do I need electricity? It doesn't look like it. All right, so I'm gonna change these. I don't want greenhouses. Let's do apples. And we will grow some cotton, because that grows a lot down south. And then as far as cows go, now we need crops. So this is a little bit of an intermediary if we go to industry area info. We need crops to send to our animal products facilities like this cow pasture. And you know what? I'm going to go with, yeah, let's go with cows. That'll be good. At some point there will be trucks and they will make deliveries to our animal products areas here. So that will eventually perk up. Now let's get an idea of where this industry area is. We want to get as many workers in here as we can. I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem seeing as unemployment is so high. We need 150 workers. We do not have enough capacity for that right now. And we don't need a whole lot of very highly educated workers. In fact, if we get too many educated workers, we might have troubles. So we've got 60% that's uneducated and 22% that's educated. This will actually work out really well then, to have this balance of workers. Now what we might want to do in order to get this to level up is add some more crop fields. And you know, the other thing we're going to add to is storage facility. We're going to add a grain silo. I'll put it right here next to the main building. At this point, everything is just so small, it's not really going to make any difference. All right, so the grain silo is going to store crops, and I'm going to leave it unbalanced, which is going to keep the storage half full and half empty. So it will consume and stockpile about equally whenever we get extras here. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to build a warehouse. Go back over here. We need warehouses. Now, I could go with a warehouse yard. Those are really small. We'll just go with a small warehouse, and we're going to put it right here across from, actually, yeah, we're going to put it right here across from the main building. And we're going to put animal products in here, and that will store extra animal products that come out of here. And as you can see, we have crops that have been delivered here, and now our cows have something to eat, and it will start producing. We can see here little cows going on here. Aren't they lovely? All seem to be doing the same thing though. And then here are our crop fields. We've got apples growing in here. And what did we decide that was? Oh, that's cotton. They don't grow that in Ohio. You need a nice warm climate, a lot of rain to grow cotton. So that's why they grow it in the Southeast. So we're going to give that a little time, and hopefully we'll produce enough units and get enough workers and also make some profits here. We need flour. I don't think we have a facility for that just yet. But we should be able to get some crops going here. Let me speed up the clock here. So it takes a little time for everything to produce. And it looks like I'm out of crops here over here in my animal pasture. Now, to facilitate transportation more, I'm going to let's work on building a road network in here. So turn our guidelines back on. That would be about 10 units. That would be 12. It doesn't look like I'm going to get perfect setup here like I normally would like, but that's okay. I'm going to start the road right here. All right, so now I want to build a road that goes up and accesses some of this area through here. I can't really build up here and go across like I'd probably prefer. could actually extend this road. It would be a bit steep though. And in order to reduce the steepness of that road, I need to go up at an angle. All right, so why don't we start off here, go out 12 units, and go about 12 units right here to go up the hill, work our way up. I think that should be a decent angle. Let's check out those lines. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's a pretty decent grade. We're going to smooth that out in just a second here. All right, so we have our road right here. Let's see if we can get 36 units. How steep is that? Oh, that's bad. That's magnificent right there. That's exactly what we want to see. Now we're up on the top of this ridge. And it looks like we could probably just go right over the top and continue this road. So let's do that. Go 18 units right here. And just go right down here. 36 units. Now there's a steep part right there. Let's smooth that out a little bit. That'll work. That'll give us a pretty smooth grade. And then over here, this part looks pretty consistent. And this over here could probably be drawn out just a little bit to even out the grade. Engineers typically, from everything I've read and everything I've seen, they tend to try to keep roads pretty straight. This is going to be an older road, so it doesn't really have to be as perfect as I've got it right here, but you get the idea. You want the grade to be pretty consistent as you go along. So that'll access a lot of that area through here, and I could probably continue that road a little further. Let's see if I want to, I think I want to kind of curve around and go, yeah, let's do that. I'm going to curve it around on this ridge and take it down the rest of the way here. So if you ever wondered why there were curves in the road, a lot of times it's because the grade of the road sort of dictates that. Especially back in the old days, because there's no way you wanted to have a steeper grade because you were using animal power or people power to get up and down those hills. And in those cases, you definitely didn't want to have anything more difficult than it needed to be. All right, so let's see. We've got we're getting close to 135 workers, and we're getting close to profitability here. So let's see what we can do to increase. We need 150 workers. We only have 135. So let's add more here. Let's see how we're doing on. Okay, we've got a lot of crops going on. It doesn't seem like that's an issue. So why don't we add another animal pasture? Now, it's really a matter of preference. There's no real reason to go with one or the other here. You can make it cows, pigs, sheep, whatever works for your city. Over here, you can make it apples, oranges, pears. You can make it a greenhouse. It's all good. Same with the crop field. Corn, cotton, potatoes, wheat, or another greenhouse. Either way. Now, what you want to do to make sure that the transportation is simple, you want to make sure that all of these crop fields are close to where they're going to be used by animal pastures. So that way the trucks don't have to go anywhere near as far, because there's a certain number of trucks there are 5 trucks for these small crop fields and 5 for the small fruit fields. And that's what they use to ship to animal pastures or to a storage facility like this one right here. And when these trucks, these each have trucks too. They have 5 trucks. They can ship to a warehouse, or they can ship to some of the factories that we'll be getting down the line here. Now the key thing is we want to make sure that we keep this progressing. That can be a little challenging sometimes. We're about to hit the resource level that we need. We just need more workers, about 15, 16 more workers. And we're not really profitable. That's the tough thing about this here, is it's not easy to be profitable here. Let's find a place to put another crop field here. When we have everything close together, nicely and compact, then that keeps the traffic from building up. If we were to process this on the other side of the city, well, then that would really tie up traffic pretty bad. All right, now this thing looks like it's really getting full. It doesn't look like it's bringing crops out. Well, yeah, I guess these are doing pretty well here. So things are working out all right. We made it to level 2. Okay, so now this increases the efficiency, so that means that our stuff produces 4% more than it did before, and it produces 10% less pollution. So now we have a flour mill, a bakery, workers' barracks, cattle shed, and a small barn. So some of these are going to be increased capacities for things we already have, and some of these are going to be new. All right, so farmers' workers' barracks give 40 more workplaces, have some more noise pollution, but they will increase the efficiency up to 5%, up to a maximum of 100%. So it's really nice to have these handy because they will improve the efficiency of the farming operations here. So I'll add a few of these. So we've got 115% worker efficiency. And now, let's see here, what's our next goal? We need 300 workers. We're well on our way to that. Let's see if we can get some more processing facilities going on here. And I'm going to increase the size of this area. Now, like I already pointed out here, go over to our resources. We only need to make sure that these extractors are on top of the yellow areas here, the fertile land. We don't need to have our factories on that same land. So I'm going to make sure that I can structure this a little bit by just increasing the size of our industry area. It's not going to harm or affect any of our generic industry buildings here. Let's take a look at unemployment while we're in the info views too. 4%. Okay, so we need to grow our population a little bit. Or we need to get rid of jobs. Actually, yeah, it's kind of a hard decision right now because I don't want all this generic industry here. So I'm going to increase the population instead, though, even though I'd really like to. We can see our residential demand's gone way up. So let's just turn on our topography lines here, and we will just expand. Now I'm going to go 10 units out here just so that I clear the edge of this cemetery, and I'm going to bring in my street right there. This does not look like too steep of a neighborhood. I think I'm going to go like so, just because that makes for a nice, neat little odd square in the grid here. And then I'm going to try to continue that further on. It just happens to work out really nicely. And I think we can go up here as well. And I'm going to pretend too that the surveyors have arrived. We're going to have some curved roads, but in some cases, we're going to have just straight roads for the sake of having straight roads, because the surveyors have arrived and some landowners are going to subdivide really, really perfectly. with their big land holdings, which we haven't really done a whole lot with that yet. That isn't as perfect as I thought. So we'll fill this in with some residential, make sure we've got water. Yeah, we do, in most of it. Just connect that across. Now the other thing I'm going to do is expand in this direction. And we have a little issue here. If we look right here, we can see that this grid line, this guideline does not actually follow the zoning grid. If I turn this off, then it follows the zoning grid. So if I want to have a perfect intersection right here, I have to move that node. So let's do that. Actually, let's see if we can do it with move it. Okay, so I'm going to pause it. And I'm going to demolish these sections of street. Rebuild here. And connect. And I'm going to turn my guidelines back on. And there we go. Now I just have to rezone all of that. So I don't lose anything I don't need to lose. Looks like I'm going to lose that building right there anyway. Alright. And double check the water. We're good. So we've added a little bit of population here. And hopefully, yeah, we have ready workers for our farms. Oh, wow, we're almost all the way up to level 2 already with our workers. Alright, so let's see what other kinds of things we can add here to get production going even more. Alright, so we have a flour mill. We want that because it's going to convert crops into flour that can be transported. So again, we don't need to have that in any particular location, although it does make sense for it to be close to our farming area. So this flour mill will process things once it gets supplied with crops that it can turn into flour. Now, do we have enough crops? Looks like things are getting emptied out pretty quickly. Oops, that's not what I wanted. And we do have a full storage facility. So let's see if we've gotten a new storage facility yet. We might have to wait for level 3. Oh, we have a barn. Perfect. Let's build a barn. And build it right over here. So this should help absorb some of the crops that we're growing here. Now let's see how close we are to level 3. We're very, very close. We don't have quite enough workers though, so let's add some more workers. Let's put in some more crop fields here because it doesn't look like quite supplying things as fast as we need. And I am just growing this very haphazardly. I am not really working off of any kind of plan here. I'm going to expand this area here. And 7 more. Okay, now I don't want that to be a bridge. I just want it to be a hill. So I'm going to use the Find Road tool, and I'm going to force it to be ground. And there we go. And that's not really a steep hill or anything. It's just one that the computer didn't want to give me. Now I'm going to try to even out that grade just a little bit. There we go. Now when I remove these coal plants, we'll have a little more room. Looks like we should be pretty close to level 3 here. We've got the workers. We're just waiting for the production. And we're starting to build a little income, a little profit in here as we export our flour. All right, so we need some unique factories, and I don't think we've got any just yet. Oh, we do. We have a bakery. So this is what we need to accept our flour. Now, the bakery can be built anywhere. We don't have to have this in any particular place. It is going to create a little bit of pollution, nothing super bad, and we're at level 3, which gives us a lemonade factory, milking parlor, and medium crop and fruit fields. It also gives us a lot more efficiency and a lot less pollution. All right, so let's build our bakery. Now I need another warehouse so that I can, actually I could use a couple more warehouses. I need one to store my flour, and I need another one that will store my finished goods. I'll put it right there. Warehouses create a little noise, but they don't create any ground pollution. All right, so I want this to be unique factory products. And I want this to be, it's my bakery. Oops, and I need this to be flour. There we go. All right, let's see how many workers we need to get to level 4. So we need another about 80 workers. I think I'm really bad at math right now. About 70 workers. No, about 60. Let's try 60 workers. Oh, we have room for 60 more workers, but we need 170 workers. So at least we're making a profit now. That's good. So as we expand on our supply chain here, then we end up with more profitability as we're able to use what we make. All right, so now let's build some roads that really take advantage of this land over here. Again, we'll expand this. And I think we'll build a road right along this ridge. Let's build in some larger fields here. And we're good. Now, the beautiful thing about this is we don't need any electricity out here. Okay, a cattle shed. Put in a couple of these. Now, these need electricity. So does our milking parlor. Throw a barn and a couple of barns in here. Maybe 1 or 2 here. Just to transmit the electricity across. Now, these storage facilities being all along the main road right here, that's probably going to get us in trouble at some point. But I'm not as worried about it right over here. This is all pretty well self-contained. Probably use another processing facility. Another flour mill here. Okay, so let's see where we are with workers. Oh, we have plenty of capacity for workers now, and we need about 75, 125 workers here. And our unemployment rate seems to have gone down substantially. We're down at 3%, so we need to really increase our population here. Or we need to decrease the jobs that we have in our industrial area here, which actually I'm not really opposed to doing. We've got a lot of traffic through here, so let's alleviate some of that by paving this road. That'll help move things along a little bit. And I'm going to set up traffic controls here too. Everything seems to be moving pretty well. Just need to get a few more workers here. Check out our grade. Looks real good. Now let's see if we can connect these roads up a little bit. That'll give everybody in town a little bit shorter route to get in. And we'll add a few blocks to this neighborhood. Oh, looks like it's time to add more water capacity, but we got to level 4 on our farming. Let's add water here. Let's get some more wastewater capacity. You know, we can pave that the rest of the way into town. We're getting some demand for commercial here, which I'm welcoming. Looks like we need electricity too. Looks like it's just cold. We're going to hold off on the electricity for the moment. Let's build a street in here on the west side. So it probably would make sense to, I think it would make sense to extend the street right here. Also think it would make sense to extend a street right here. So that's 70 units right there and about 5 in. So let's build this 65 units long and then curve into it. That'll give an alternate route over to that industrial area and set up more area for expanding residential areas here too. Let's start zoning in some commercial along the street. And as it fills in, I'm going to change these houses over to being commercial too. All right, then we'll fill in the rest of this residential. And I'm going to leave a little empty area here where I won't have to deal with the pollution issues. That should satisfy some of my residential demand for the time being. And I'm really having some serious electricity issues, so let's get a power plant. I don't want to build another coal power plant, but I don't really have a whole lot of choice here. Alright, so how close are we to level 5? We need another 200 workers, roughly. We're almost to the production level. Now, level 4 gives us a lot of stuff. Let's see what kind of unique factories we might have here. We have the lemonade factory, which needs glass, and that's something that we're really going to have to build an ore area for, ore processing, mineral processing. We don't have that. We need oil for this one. That would be a real good one right there for us. So it looks like we're out of the unique factory business for the time being. So let's see what we can do to increase our farming capacity here. Got larger crop fields, which I think we've already built. How are we doing on storage? Looks like we're storing quite a lot, actually. There's our silo. Yeah. Oh boy, we're really storing a lot here. I think we've gotten some larger warehouses available too here. Nope, not yet. We need a 5,500. We need more Sims. Okay, so let's see here. We got a slaughterhouse. That'll give us more animal products. It'll process more than our milking parlor. Yeah, it will. So let's build that. And I really don't want to build that in a bad spot. I think I can get away with it up here on the top of this hill, though. That's going to use a lot of animal products. I hope I built it so that it would clear in case I decide to extend this road. Looks like I didn't. Just going to nudge this over a little bit with Move It. Now, if you don't already own the Industries DLC or any of the other expansions for our city Skylines, you can go on my Nexus store and you can purchase it there. They even give you Steam keys, and part of the proceeds go to support the channel, so it's a great way to do that too. And that's filled up quite quickly. I need to get some water supply though. That'll give us a lot more crops and animal products, which would be good for our bakery. Now we're making quite a lot of money with the bakery. As you can see, our income has swollen quite a lot. Let's see how we're doing on workers. We have 685, so we need about 110 more. Oh, we're gonna build larger barns. That might be useful. Actually, I think it would be good if we knock down some of our smaller barns for this. Might need to build a larger one first though. And I'm gonna empty this one. Let's check out our traffic flow and see how that's working out. We have some busy roads, but this is working out pretty nicely, really. And a lot of it's because we've got good connections. Now, something I'd like to maybe try to do is plug in down here with this road, but that's really pretty steep. So that might not be the most practical idea. But it would be useful, wouldn't it? Yeah, I don't know if there's really a good way to do that. So sometimes geography just makes it so that it would be incredibly steep to get through there. So we're just going to leave that open, that area through there. But we might be able to connect across here. And we've still got a lot of residential demand. Maybe we could just build on the other side of this road here. I think we could go out 24 units, and then that would be some nice symmetry right here. That lumpy area there is a little bit of a problem. We'll have that affect the grid here a little bit. It really doesn't look too bad. Oh, you know what I did wrong? No, I don't know if I did. Oh, I sure did. Okay. I need to relay this road. This has to do with what Fine Road Tool will do for us. Sometimes it helps us in ways we don't want it to. That looks pretty good. I don't see any serious grades going on there. And we're going to zone commercial right along the other side of the street here. It actually makes sense for there to be a street there, doesn't it? This time I had the street position dictated by having an existing pipe connection underneath it. I just felt like that made more sense. It also adds a little extra character to the grid here, for whatever that's worth. And we could probably use another school. Yeah, we need another school. How are we doing on high school? Looks good. All right, let's check on our farming area here. Let's see here. We wanted to move that, and it is still full. That's incredible. It's supposed to be empty by now. Let's change that one to fill. I really want that one to be empty. It's taking on more. And I've got all my trucks in use too. All right, so let's see how many workers we've got in this industrial area here. Oh man, we're only about 40 away from there, and we're really close to hitting the production that we need to. So what are we? What's the balance look like? It looks like we've got a pretty good balance. We could use another flour mill and probably another animal processing facility. That would probably take care of things, but I think we already have enough employment going on. Yeah, we've got plenty of employment that can be absorbed there. So I'm just going to let this go. Really think it's going to catch up. Unemployment's really low still. Probably use more residential area here. All right, so this is kind of steep right here, but I could probably run this across. This is where I can hold down the Alt key, use precision engineering to get that to line up precisely. Oh, here we go. We got it to level 5. All right, so now we have all sorts of other goodies that we have available. Let's see what we have for unique factories here. Got a couple more. We've got a clothing factory. We already saw that one. Okay, so the food factory. We need paper and we need plastic for that. Don't have that yet, so we can't really do that. All right, so let's... All right, we have a large grain silo. Let's put it next to our big barn. And hopefully we can get this emptied. It's not happening though. So we could really go crazy with this. This is making us a little bit of money. Not a lot, but a little bit. Now the good thing is it's supplying our unique factory here, our bakery, which is making us a pretty good chunk of change here. You've got almost 2,000, 2,600, almost about 2,500 credits per month is what that's bringing in. So that's pretty cool. I'll go with that. I like that. And we're almost at 5,500 sims. Let's see if we can get that number hit, and then on our next video we can build a park here in the center. Let's see if we can fill in some of this here. Now this looks like a good location for a city park. As zoning grid is messed up, let me redo that. Now I need to figure out if I'm going to run any more streets in between here. I don't need to, but I might want to. That should be enough right there, I think, to get us up to 5,500. And just to set that aside as a park, I will outline that using the districts and areas tool. Oops, there we go, busy town. All right, looking good, looking good. Now with 5,500 sims, we can massively expand our police coverage. Now the question is, where do we want to build this police station? I would like to have it so that it covers as much of the community as possible. I sort of like it right in this location here, because this does look pretty central, and it does cover almost all of downtown. It has at least the footprint of coverage. Actually, this might be an even better place right here. It covers downtown a teeny bit less, but it covers all this industrial area, and it has direct access along these two streets. If I put it over here, it's less of an advantage. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with this more central location though instead. And I'll put the fire station next to it, right across the street. Now we can build a hospital too. Where can we fit that? I think this would be a good location right here. Okay, so we have our hospital and police and fire. Now, to increase decrease the response time, I'm going to pave streets going into the square here. Pave the street here too. That'll get everything out there pretty quick. Now, the other thing I can do is eliminate medical clinic and the police station over here. I don't really need this fire station over here either, because I've got one right down the street. Let's see how good our coverage is. All right, it looks like we probably could have just moved that. Would have probably been a good idea. I'm not going to worry about it though. We'll deal with it down the line. But we've got a really beautiful little town going here. I'm just going to leave that go. On our next episode, we will build a park right here in the center of town, and we will set up districts so that we know what part of town is what. Got a kind of a weird shaped town going on here. It's really very organically built. We've got a grid over here, and we've got all these curved roads. A little bit of grid interspersed in here, and then we've got all this industry up here. It's all looking real good. Got some good connections to make sure the traffic doesn't get out of control either. We can still see the guy's nose. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Please give this video a like, and of course subscribe. So long!